Let's talk about AI. It's already reshaping our world, right? Generating billions and billions of dollars in value, creating entire new industries out of thin air. But all of this incredible growth brings up a huge question. As AI creates all this new wealth, who actually gets to own it? Because right now, let's be honest, that wealth is flowing to a pretty small group of very large corporations. But is that the only way it can be? Is it the fairest way? This question right here is at the absolute heart of what we're going to unpack in this explainer. So, what's the big idea on the table to address this? Well, the main one is something called an AI dividend. Let's break down exactly what that means. Okay, so the core concept is pretty straightforward. Everyone would get a regular payment, and that money would come directly from the profits that AI systems are making. But here's the really interesting part, the framing. This isn't being pitched as some kind of government handout. It's positioned as society claiming its collective inheritance. Here's a great way to think about it. You know how if you own stock in a company, you get dividends, right? A little piece of the profits. Well, the argument here is that all of humanity is basically a shareholder in AI because we all contributed the data it was built on. So it only makes sense that humanity should get a dividend from the profits it helped create. Now, this brings us to a really, really crucial distinction. A lot of people hear this and their mind immediately jumps to universal basic income, or UBI. But the people who champion the AI dividend are very clear that the way it's funded is completely different. And here's where that difference really snaps into focus. UBI is usually funded through taxes, which means you're redistributing money that already exists in the system. An AI dividend, on the other hand, would be funded by the new wealth that AI itself is generating. So the key point isn't about raising taxes, it's about sharing the profits from a brand new, massive source of value. So let's get into it. What is the fundamental case for sharing this wealth in the first place? Why should it be shared at all? Let's dig into the core arguments. This right here, this is the philosophical heart of the whole argument. It's the idea that all the knowledge, the culture, the data that powers AI, it doesn't just belong to one single company. It belongs to all of us. It's a resource we all built together over centuries. And if you're looking for proof of that inheritance, well, it's everywhere. These AI systems, they don't just learn in a vacuum, you know? They are trained on these massive, unbelievable data sets of our books, our articles, our music, our art, our code. Without this gigantic library of human creativity to learn from, AI literally couldn't exist. And this is not just some theoretical debate, okay? This is playing out in courtrooms as we speak. Major creators, we're talking the New York Times, Getty Images, famous authors, they are actively suing major AI companies. They're arguing that their work was used without permission to build these incredibly profitable systems. These lawsuits really highlight that central tension. Who actually owns the value that's created from our collective data? And for anyone who thinks this kind of wealth sharing just sounds impossible, there's a really powerful real-world example. Since 1982, the Alaska Permanent Fund has taken revenue from a collective resource, oil, and paid a dividend to every single resident every single year. It's proof that a system of shared wealth can and does work at a large scale. Now, of course, this idea isn't without its challenges. Critics bring up some really important questions, like how would you even calculate AI profits, and could this actually slow down innovation? But to get the full picture, let's look at the future its proponents imagine. So, according to the source material, this all leads us to a massive crossroads. We're facing a fundamental choice about the kind of society we want to build in the age of AI. And the stakes are presented as being incredibly high. One path, the one without sharing, could lead to just massive inequality and instability, as all that wealth gets concentrated at the top. But the other path, the one with sharing, well, that envisions a future with much greater financial security, which could, in turn, unlock a whole new wave of human creativity and progress. Proponents argue the benefits would be absolutely transformative. You'd have stability and security from a reliable dividend, which would reduce a ton of widespread stress. And that freedom, they say, would fuel a new era of growth because way more people would be empowered to start a business or create art or pursue an innovation without that constant pressure of just trying to make ends meet. And that really brings us back full circle to the core idea. Proponents are very, very clear on this. This isn't about charity and it's not welfare. It's framed as a matter of ownership, a rightful share in the immense value that all of us helped create. So, that leaves us with the ultimate question at the heart of this entire debate. As AI continues to generate wealth on a scale we've never seen before, should we view that wealth as a private corporate asset or as a shared human inheritance? The answer we choose is going to define the future for generations to come.